Shannon.
Hello, Tess.
How are you, Shannon?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Fantastic. Thanks for being with
Uh,
us today.
yeah, you bet. I'm excited to hang with you guys. If I can't see you, at least we can chat.
I know, right? Aw,
Yeah.
I miss my Shannon.
I know. I miss you too. I miss all my
Aw,
peeps.
I know. Well, how you doing today?
I'm great. We are just kind of everybody is in their assigned space, doing their new thing here at home. So we're starting to kind of settle into the new schedule and routine that we've got going.
Oh, how's that going? Everybody adjusting well?
Yeah, everyone seems to be doing well with it. It's definitely a new norm, but one that honestly I'm kind of selfishly enjoying having all my people close, and
Uh-huh.
so it's been really nice in some places, and then a little bit more difficult and challenging in others. But as a whole, we're just doing what we can.
That's awesome. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That is so good. Well,
How
we
about
sure.
you guys?
I mean, we're doing good. I think we're doing good.
Good.
Yeah.
We're doing
Yeah.
good. We're putting it all out there. So if you've watched our podcast, it's a challenging day to day.
Yeah. I mean,
I,
we're learning new things every day.
right, forever students. That's what
Uh-huh.
I like to say.
That's true. That is so true. Well, we sure appreciate you being here today. And it sounds like you guys are learning how to live your best lives during these challenging times. So how you doing that? How can we learn to live our best lives during these times, this crazy
Right.
time?
Yeah. It's $1 million question, huh?
Shannon, let's back up just a
Oh.
second. Tell us about yourself.
Oh,
Tell
that
us
is
what
so
you
right.
do.
Oh my God,
Tell
I
us,
just went into
tell
it.
us who you are.
I assumed everybody knows you just like I do.
I know,
Go back.
right? Like, yeah. Okay. So I'm going to act like you do not know me for a second.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm Shannon Craig, and I am a certified holistic health coach, wellness coach, life coach, fitness coach. I train with TRX straps and a lot of body resistance training and bands and things like that. So just in that health and wellness space, really. Went to the Institute for Integrative Nutrition back in 2016, studied nutrition in college. It's just kind of always been a passion of mine. But really and truly, I tend to lean more towards the holistic approach to health, which is just encompassing everything that creates better health and well-being in our bodies and our mind and our soul. So I'm really passionate about that part of being and staying healthy. So I do one-on-one health coaching. I also do some personal training and a little bit of group training and things like that. So in a nutshell, that's kind of what I do. I'm also a mom. I have 2 kiddos, and I've been married to my husband, Tim, for going on 19 years now.
Oh.
So to summarize Shannon Craig, I guess that would probably be it.
Fantastic.
Awesome. Yes.
Kind of in a nutshell, when your mind is right, your body is right, we're kind of right for life every day. We're living our best lives when our mind is in the right place, our body's in the right place. That helps get us there, gets us through challenges.
It all works together, right?
Oh, absolutely. Excuse me. Yeah, I do feel like the mind is so powerful, and we just have that constant dialogue with ourselves every day, all day, more than we even realize. So I really encourage, myself as well as everyone that I can to focus on what we can control. And a lot of that is that internal dialogue. So I'm trying to focus myself on just really thinking about the words that I'm choosing, especially in this situation. And it just helps my central nervous system when you think about saying, even with social distancing, like I've tried to catch myself and switch that to physical distancing. So I'm just a social person. I enjoy socializing.
Mm-hmm.
So I really don't want to take on the mindset of I'm having to socially
Distance
from
yourself.
everything and everyone. And it's more of a physical distancing, which sounds better to me.
It really does. That's a really good way to put that.
Yeah. So, it's little things like that, if we can kind of get in that routine of just being more mindful of the verbiage that we use, what we're eating, how we're sleeping, maintaining relationships, and focusing on as much positive as we can. So that just, we want to really control our central nervous system. We don't want to be anxious all day, every day. It creates stress eating. It's just, we don't sleep as well. So all those major factors that control our health and well-being, we start to affect. And I think it starts a lot with the mindset.
Yeah, the stress makes you old really fast. Makes you
right?
fall apart physically. Makes you fall. Your life, your health definitely can't go up if you're stressful every day.
We can't go get Botox right now. We gotta really
those stress lines start to really pop out.
I know. We gotta do everything we can to maintain.
Little face massage, all that good stuff.
Yes. Oh my gosh, it's so true.
So yeah.
Oh, well, that is really awesome. Some little positive self-talk then.
Yeah, for sure. Just always staying aware of what we're saying to ourselves and to our loved ones. So it does help, and it does make a difference. So, honestly, to answer your question, Tess, how we're trying to fit into this new routine and kind of calling it the Rona routine.
That's good.
That's just kind of, I got to try to put some kind of little comical spin on it just to stay sane. But there are a few things that I have noticed us doing here just in my immediate family of trying to keep some kind of normalcy within, these four walls. I do tend to kind of lean into the fact that we become a product of our environment sometimes without even realizing it. So just trying to keep a positive environment within our home has helped, I think, all of us feel a little bit more calm and at ease. And so just getting up and getting our day started. And, I've also found myself sleeping a little bit later and allowing myself to do that. So instead of getting up maybe at 5:30 to start my routine, I've pushed it back maybe to 6:30 or so. So having grace there to play with the new,
treating your body right with a little extra sleep,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's pretty much where I'm at on the mental side of this.
So that's good, but you're still keeping up your routine and creating a new one. And that's sort of what Jenny was talking about the other day. So that's kind of cool with,
Yeah, I think that seems to be a common denominator. And I love that. I'm hearing a lot of people talk about their new routines. And I just kind of think that that's healthy to stay in a place of continuing to be motivated and getting up and having things that you kind of like. I'm a lister, so I like to have a little list and check things off, and that just kind of feels good to me.
Right.
So I've noticed that other people are falling into that. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I know you're also big into fitness, and so how are you staying fit during these times and encouraging other people to do that too?
Yeah, so that's been really hard for me because I love to train my people, and I like to have that interaction. So for me, really honestly, I have been doing a lot of walking. We have been blessed with some really amazing weather here in Little Rock, Arkansas. I mean, when it's not raining, it's just fabulous. So getting out and walking has been huge for all of us, honestly. My oldest daughter's been doing the same, getting up and walking the dogs in the mornings. And so it just feels great to get outside and be with nature. So I've been doing that. I'm fortunate enough to kind of have equipment since I train. So I'm still trying to do things at home with the bands and things like that. So just keeping your body moving. I mean, honestly, there's so many things we can do, with our own body weight that it's just endless. Just using your own body and what do you have around the house to stay active. I encourage everyone to keep moving.
It's certainly one of those things that it's real easy during this, this Rona situation to go, you know what, I'm just going to sit on the couch. I'm going to watch Netflix all day and this will pass, and kind of, whether that is going into some sort of depression because of what's going on. But realistically, if they are getting up every day, from what I'm hearing you say, get up every day, start your routine, do your routine, keep a positive attitude, do a little exercise, and that exercise creates those endorphins that, makes you feel better. Certainly keeps you healthier, and we've got the time to do it. So whether those are push-ups, sit-ups, whatever other body, there's tons of stuff out there, whether all the free apps and free classes right now that people are putting out for stay-at-home workouts. You don't need equipment to get active.
Right.
Yes. No, I think that's a very great point, Jason. And I hope that people hear that, because I do want to encourage everyone that, that's a real thing. Just releasing those endorphins, those feel good hormones, it does make a difference. And so, honestly, if I were going to summarize how I'm trying to keep, up with any kind of normal routine, and especially focus on my health, well-being, my immune system, it would be, if I could just list a few things, it would be absolutely get up and get active. Just go ahead, knock it out first thing if you don't have anything else you have to do. So whether that's go for a walk, do 20 air squats, 20 push-ups, 20 lunges, whatever that may be.
Mm-hmm.
Start with a ginormous glass of water. I would encourage everyone to wake up, have some water, wake up your metabolism, flush out any toxins that you've holding on to. Try to look at your plate with every meal. Like, I really try to encourage myself to have something on my plate with every meal that offers nutrition. And, we learned this terminology in integrative nutrition of just crowding out. So we just want to take up real estate with the healthy things first. So just try to get in fruits, vegetables, fiber, all those healthy things that have lots of fun colors to them. Eating that on your plate first, trying to make sure when you look at your plate, do you see something that is going to actually fuel you with some kind of beneficial nutrition. Switch out any kind of cola or alcohol for maybe some tea throughout the day. We might be tending to lean on some substances right now for numbing devices, but I really want to encourage people to try to just stay strong in that mindset of continuing to stay active, and not assuming every day is a Friday or Saturday.
Right.
So, and then just rest. Sleep's so important right now for our immune system and for our well-being. So those are just a few things that I would want to encourage everybody to try to stay on track with, just to feel good, and when you feel good, you just seem to stay more positive about life.
Right. Absolutely.
So from a nutrition standpoint, you mentioned, nutrition and putting the colorful things on your plate. Are there some things right now that we should be eating more for immune boosters? Is there food out there that you're aware of, things that we should absolutely make sure are within our diet?
Yeah. So I do try to focus more right now foods that offer like probiotic and prebiotic benefits, and just keeping our gut healthy is so important right now to boost our immune system. So, for example, probiotic foods would be things like yogurt or kombucha, pickled veggies, kraut, kimchi, things like that are just fermented foods are so good right now for your gut, and just a natural way to gain more probiotics. And then, or to keep your gut microbiome healthy and strong and thriving. But prebiotics are something too that we can help service our body. Just bananas, oatmeal, asparagus, maple syrup, legumes are a great source of prebiotics. Adding onions to your meal, things like that. And then just high fiber foods. Fibrous foods, they're going to keep you satiated longer. You're going to feel full. So not so much snacking and grabbing foods, mindless eating. The more fiber that we get with every meal, the longer we feel that full feeling within our bodies. So that's nice. Raspberries are a great source. All the berries, but really raspberries kind of win that race. Dark colored veggies, so beets, broccoli, collard greens, sweet potatoes are a great fibrous food. Whole grains. I like sprouted whole grains. The lentils, the nuts, the seeds, things like that. So I think that if we can keep our bodies in that place of really feeling like we're, food is medicine. I believe that wholeheartedly.
Right. It is.
So, staying on top of that. And then again, just stay hydrated. We just want to give our bodies every chance that we can right now to stay healthy and out of unnecessary doctor visits and things like that.
Right. You are.
So you sent us
Yeah.
a chart, Shannon, and I wanted to be able to touch on this for a minute. Can you talk about this chart? We're going to show it to everybody that's watching. We'll put it up on the screen, but tell us a little bit about this wheel that you sent us.
Yeah. So the wheel represents all the things in life that create just create more joy, more happiness, and ultimately more balance. So we want to try to stay balanced in all these categories and feed them all equally. Sometimes people tend to get so wrapped up in what they're eating and moving that they forget all the other aspects that create that overall, wellness within ourselves, mind, body, soul kind of wellness. So on the chart that you'll see is if you'll just put a dot like on the line. So let's use, I'm not looking at the chart right now, but let's just say relationships, career, financials. I know all those are on that chart. So the more in you go to the center, that's like you do not feel satisfied in that category. If you place the dot all the way on the outside of the circle, you feel pretty satisfied with where you're at in that category. So just placing a dot within each of those little pieces of the pie and then connect all the dots and you'll see kind of where in a graph form you're dipping. So anywhere that you have dipped down closer to that inner circle, I just encourage you to kind of maybe focus on how you can move that dot up the line towards the outside of that circumference.
So you want your wheel to be even, right?
Yeah, we want to keep the wheel even, feeling like we are, giving attention to all of the aspects of our life. So not just focusing so much on one and leaving the others out to dry, because that really does affect our overall health more than we realize. If our relationships are poor, then you don't even realize that's creating stress and dis-ease in the body. The same with your finances, or if you're unhappy with what you're doing in your job, things like that. So just really trying to keep all those dots as close to that outside edge as we can. And every maybe quarter, just check in with that chart. Like, where am I here? Ooh, I'm not doing too hot in this department. So really kind of maybe even put more focus on that to expand it out to feel like you're more fulfilled in that department, in that category of your life. So just creating balance. In nutrition school, we learned about primary foods, which we would normally think is like the foods that we take in and digest. But really, we want to look at as a holistic health coach, and anyone taking the holistic approach to health in general, the primary foods being all of the other things. So the secondary food being the food that we chew, but primarily looking into, more depth, like where am I with all of the other things that are listed on that chart, and when you feel better about those things, you tend to want to take better care of your body in the way that you fuel it. So when we find ourselves depressed in one area, we tend to lean into food or another substance to fix it. But when we kind of take into account the other things and feel good there, then we want to feel our bodies better. We feel better.
Right.
So
we make better choices.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. It absolutely does. That's a cool representation.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, it's just a great tool.
I heard somebody talking about this tool in the fact of it kind of being a tire. And once you go put your dots and you connect your dots, you see your flat spots. You see where your tire is flat. And you don't necessarily have to work on, hey, let's get all of these things, the furthest thing. I mean, obviously you want them to be as far out. You want your tire to be as full of air as possible. But work on those flat areas to at least bring them up to equal to the other dots first, to begin to at least have a tire. You've got a wheel. You've got something you can travel on. You've got a balance. And then make that tire bigger and bigger and as you can through through this process.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I don't want it to create frustration. I mean, it's normal for us to be kind of in that constant pendulum to where we put focus over here, so over there's not getting as much, but just swing back. This is nothing more than a tool to just kind of keep us in that constant mindset of checking in with ourselves.
Yeah.
So it's okay to dip and to swing over, to the right but then just come back over. So don't stay stagnant in one spot of your life. Just spread the love.
And check in with the other. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the tire analogy. That's a good one too.
Oh, that's so cool.